Kristina Nikols for IdeateTV with Stephen Powers, CEO of Bodi Tree. Stephen, thanks so much for talking to us today.
It's my joy. Thank you for coming by to see us.
Yes, you came right on time.
I did. I've been trying to find my way here through the Emmy traffic. We have the Emmys right next door to the convention center today. Of course, it's Los Angeles.
It's definitely a busy day in downtown LA.
Indeed. So I'm glad to be here, and thank you for asking about the Bodi Tree.
Yes, I'd love to hear. For our viewers who are completely unfamiliar with Bodi Tree, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, one of the things that we like to speak to is that the Bodi Tree is founded in 1970. So we are not new to this community of people who care about the environment, people who care about spirituality, who care about their health and wellness and their life in general and other people's lives. So the Bodi Tree was founded in 1970 by two gentlemen, Stan Madsen and Phil Thompson. They have a fascinating story. They were aeronautics engineers building airplanes to drop bombs, and right out of the 60s they realized they wanted to make love, not war, and so they quit being aeronautics engineers and they opened the Bodi Tree on Melrose Avenue, where it was for 45 years as kind of a primary community for people interested in all the wisdom traditions from around the world, all the new thinking in terms of ways of living and being and preserving the planet. And we are, myself in particular, are sort of honored to carry that legacy forward. So we are now launching the Bodi Tree online as boditree.com, and I can tell you more about all the things that we address, but the history of the Bodi Tree is very long and very storied.
We like stories.
Well, if you don't know, one of the kind of famous stories about the Bodi Tree involves Shirley MacLaine, you know, the actress Shirley MacLaine, who wrote a best-selling book called Out on a Limb. And in that book, she describes how the year after she won her Academy Award for Best Actress, she was brought by a friend to the Bodi Tree. She knew nothing about this world of metaphysics and unusual things, and a book fell into her hands, literally fell off the shelf. And
No way. Fell off the shelf?
Fell off the shelf, and she caught it in her hands, and she thought, well, isn't that interesting? So she paid particular interest to that book and decided to buy that book.
What was the book?
Well, I forget the title, but she credits the book with being the transformational catalyst that changed her whole life, where she became renowned as being, quote unquote, out on a limb, being someone who was interested in unusual spiritual practices, in metaphysics, in astrology, in all these kinds of things that people in 1970, or I think this was in the late 70s, maybe or early 80s, was considered pretty far out. Now the whole culture has caught up with all of these ideas and with all of these practices and modalities, but Shirley MacLaine, through her book and the subsequent movie that was made from her book, was one of the people who made the Bodi Tree very famous.
How did you personally get involved at the Bodi Tree?
Well, I have been a media producer for a long career. I won't tell how many years, but 4 decades, basically. So you can do the arithmetic. And prior to working for the Bodi Tree, which I started about 18 months ago, I was the CEO of Agape Media International. And Agape, of course, is the spiritual center based here in Los Angeles, founded by Reverend Michael Beckwith. And so I was working with Michael, and I produced his PBS special and his music, and I ran the media at Agape. And I have been a producer of media, books, music, films, television for those 4 decades. I've been a serial entrepreneur, and I've founded many other businesses, mostly in the music business, before Agape Media. So that media experience, that business experience, and my love for things spiritual, not religious, really was kind of the perfect setup for me to be a person who could help here at the Bodi Tree. In particular, again, sort of interesting stories that become moments in time, right? Synchronicity, as we would call it. I was the keynote speaker at a conference called Sustainatopia, which is also a green living conference that occurs on a regular basis, or a keynote speaker, I should say. And the woman who now owns the Bodi Tree, who is based in London, and who purchased it from the founders a few years ago, had sent one of her associates to the conference to kind of listen to people and see if she noticed anybody she thought would be beneficial for the company. She heard me speak and approached me, and then I started conversations with Jasmine, the owner, and next thing you know, I was the CEO. So that's how it all happened.
And here you are.
And here I am, indeed.
So if you can leave our viewers with one idea, one overall feeling about the Bodi Tree, what would you like to leave them with to entice them to come by and visit the store?
Excellent, thank you. Well, the Bodi Tree is a community, and our values are about compassion, they're about education, they're about knowledge, they're about self-awareness and personal development. So my personal story is really not really important, it's how we can serve the greater community. So we are here at the Bodi Tree to offer knowledge, to offer books, to offer what you see, these goods around you, we call mercantile, a metaphysical mercantile. They are for ceremony and sanctuary and sensuality. They're for your sacred home. They're for to make your own spiritual practice rich and meaningful to you. And so that's what we're here to do. We're here to serve the community to help you. So we are opening online, boditree.com. Please come visit us. We'll be up live in October, and we'll be opening our live event space back on Melrose Avenue a month after that.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Stephen.
You, Kristina.